Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Anthony Prince Leslie, and you're tuned into deuxsol Radio. Peace.
Peace, peace.
Hey,
What's up, y'all? It's Ariam.
and Yodit.
And you're tuned in to deuxsol Radio.
That's right, your favorite twins are back talking all things music and culture.
Because two takes are better than one, but twin takes
Are even better.
And we're back with another episode. And this episode is super special because we have a very special guest.
Sure do.
We have film director, photographer, and founder of Equator Studios. Please give a welcome to Anthony Prince Leslie.
Hey, guys. What's up, friends and family out there far and wide?
Anthony, we are so happy to have you.
Yes.
Thank you for joining us on the podcast.
I'm happy I could be here. Y'all are amazing. And
you
just
are
excited to
too.
be here with y'all.
Likewise. And it's a Pisces vibe today.
You feel me?
Yes.
We just in emotion.
Yes,
grooving,
yes.
so it's
We
all good.
love it. We love it. So thank you again for joining us today. We're so excited. I can't believe it's been almost 10 years since we first met
Yes.
at Afropunk.
That's actually
Yes.
really crazy.
2015.
Yeah.
Yes.
You were capturing people that were attending that day. You were getting street style and you stopped us. And that was such an interesting time because we were just exploring New York and the creative scene. And you were probably one of the first people we had ever met in
Wow.
that space.
It was our first Afropunk.
Wow.
We had
that's
never
great.
been to Afropunk before.
Mm-hmm.
And we were seeing photos from like past Afropunks. We were like, oh, we gotta get our outfit right. We gotta get the looks. We were joking about it casually, me and my sisters and my friends. We were like,
Yeah.
you know what? We need to get our photo taken. We need to be posted on Instagram. And you literally were like the first person we walked into. You're like,
Yeah.
yo, I like y'all's vibe. Let me take a group picture. We're like,
Yeah.
what? We like spoke
It
this
was so
up.
fun. It was candid. I mean,
Yeah.
if y'all don't know about Afropunk, or if you haven't experienced one, please do. I mean,
Yes.
it's not going to be what it was before.
Right.
But it's such like an amazing moment for Brooklyn and for our people to show up in the many ways that we are, and it was just great to, run into just like-minded people. And then, the stars just kind of aligned in that moment, where we kind of just ran into each other. But, I think that's where it just happened. Like, I think that's where stars align,
Yeah.
so many different
Literally.
people you meet there and get to experience that,
Yeah.
you can continue your journey with. So
It was such a great way to end that summer because it was in August. And I was like, wow, I'm on a high. Like, New
Yeah.
York is lit. Like,
But
I love
Afropunk
it.
specifically,
I
like
just-
you said, like that community that it facilitates and creates is just
amazing.
unmatched.
Yeah.
Unmatched.
I just posted something, a meme. It was just like, New York summers are unmatched. Like, it
Truly.
really is not Like, I don't understand, but it's lit here. It's amazing. The sun is out. Everybody's outside. Everybody's talking. Everybody's eating.
Everybody's cool.
Yeah.
Everybody's
just
cool.
like
Yeah.
inherently cool,
Yeah.
They don't care how cool the next person is. 'Cause
Yeah.
they're cool. So it's
It's
just
like as soon as the weather turns, like everyone just like activates a new level of energy.
And since then,
Mm-hmm.
you have been a part of such amazing work and the things that you've done, founding your company. The list goes on. But we know what you're doing now, but we'd love to know how you got here,
Mm.
right? So tell us a little bit about your story. You are from New York, right?
Yes, I'm a Brooklyn native. I'm from Canarsie,
Okay.
Brooklyn, baby.
Okay. So talk to us about what it was like growing up here.
Oh my gosh. Growing up in New York, it was growing up in, Canarsie, Brooklyn was just amazing. Both my mother and my father is Jamaican.
Nice.
And Canarsie is just such a Caribbean melting pot. So meeting so many different people who are in the same thing as you, like dancehall music, dancing, you just kind of find yourself in these little cliques, you know what I mean? And going up and down from like the Paddocks, where there's these like short blocks that are like dead end blocks along like the outskirts of Brooklyn. It was just always fun. There's always a backyard party, and like, I don't know if y'all know about the DVDs, like Pasa where them guys be running up on them girls. You know what happens? I mean, I witnessed this firsthand my whole life before it went viral.
Right.
But I mean, also just the technique and us dancing in unison and finding brotherhood and seeing the ladies also do their thing. It was just always fun going out to parties and stuff like that in Brooklyn. And then things start to change. You grow up and, other people find their fancy in other things. And, I kind of found myself wanting to open up my mind more when it came to dance, going, doing like dancehall dances, like the Willie Bounce, and things like that. Shout out to Bogle, which is the dancehall king, legend. I wanted to learn more about ballet and modern. So a really cool friend of mine's, Tatiana Cibarone, she opened my mind up and was just like, hey, maybe you should come to this after school program. It's called City Kids. And that's when I first really took myself outside of Brooklyn and built the bridge into the city, which allowed me to like be around other people who are into the arts. So City Kids was a really cool foundation, nonprofit organization that like had after school dancing classes. And, I got to learn a little bit about modern dance and then like hip hop. And then also like there's acting classes. So at the end of the day, just being open to all of that. When I was going to high school, I was talking to my friend and she was just like, yo, you should totally audition for my school or go to Talent Unlimited. I'm like, okay, a performing arts high school. Who doesn't want to go to performing arts high school?
Right.
Everyone.
Did you see, what's that show that they had on TV?
Fame.
Like,
yeah.
That was mad cool.
Yes. That was probably like the epitome of like the coolest high school experience. Like everyone having talent.
Yeah.
It's like so dope.
And just exploring it.
So that was what my high school was like.
You've had your hand in different creative outlets, right? Like you weren't just limited to one specific medium, which is really cool. I know you talked about dance and you talked about acting, but how did you realize that you had an interest in film or photography?
Well, I realized that I had an interest in film and photography. Me and my brothers were like, deciding that we needed to take pictures of ourselves when we skateboard and things like that. And we just were like, okay, one of my brothers, Brandon, was like, yo, we should just get a video camera for Christmas and then we can make a video. It's gonna be dope. So he got a VHS camera and then we started filming ourselves and we took that same video, shared it with like online, and then this energy drink company hit us up, and this is on MySpace.
Oh, wow.
And
okay.
Yeah, I was like 15 or 16 around, like
really?
Yeah, 17 around those times. And like we were like, oh, let's do this. Like, oh yeah, you can send us product and we just do a photo shoot for you. So then we hired like other people to do it for us. It was like $100. Somebody come and do a photo shoot for you on your skateboard.
Right.
Wearing whatever products that they sent us, like shirts. And then, upon leaving, graduating from high school, I was just like, if I don't get into this this college, Delphi for dance, I'm gonna just go to the Art Institute for film because it felt just as rewarding. Like I instantly reached somebody across in California from Brooklyn on MySpace because of video.
Wow.
And I was just like, oh, and my brothers was like, yeah, let's do it. And then we can make more videos.
Right.
But then things changed. I was like, oh, wait, there's more.
That was just the beginning.
Social media was just opening up, I feel like hearing your story of basically having what appears to be a brand deal, right? Like somebody sending you product and you make content for them.
Yeah.
That's, at that time of MySpace, that was not really like a solid idea or concept.
Yeah.
Not like we have it today.
Yeah. We didn't have the language for it then. Like we didn't, like that was just such a new like transaction that you could have with brands. So that's really, really interesting.
So you're ahead of the curve.
Yeah.
Always.
I guess. I pray for that. I said, God, please let me stay ahead of the curve.
Yeah.
Oh my God, but that's really cool. And the fact that you got to do with your family at first.
I mean, it starts from the heart, and like I feel like, if you're around people who like are willing to like put into what you're creating and what you want to do and like just like everybody put their hands in the pot and like try to figure it out together, then you ultimately will find that balance. Like, I mean, y'all are sisters and y'all are doing this together and y'all are award winning now, podcasts. Like, congratulations. Like,
Thank you.
It's like y'all have the same goal, here. And I think like, when creating family, like, selective family and family that you grew up with is like, how can we help each other get to this main goal together?
Right.
So you talked about the alternative route if you didn't get into dance school. Did you end up getting into dance school?
No, I didn't end up getting into dance school.
Okay, so what happened next?
I got into the Art Institute of New York City, which was okay. Actually, by the way, I just got what you call it. What happens when they tell you that you can't you don't have to. I don't have to pay my student loans. They were forgiven.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah.
We do it. We do it.
I said, Lord.
That is a positive news.
This is real information.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like,
I love that for you.
you know, it's just kind of wild to me because it's like, you know, that was something that I was really betting on. You know, like my mom and myself, when we went up there, I'm like, I don't know what's going to happen,
Right.
but I'm going to try this. And like at the time, and I'm going to get a little bit deeper with y'all. I'm not sure if we're going to even use this, but I had gotten into trouble with the law, you know, going back to my old neighborhood. And I went to a party, ended up, you know, finding myself in troubles with the police, which then landed me on trial for a gun charge, you know, for something that I didn't do. And it was just like, you know, wow, that like film really saved me. You know, like when I went to the Art Institute, even though they weren't like the best school, and, you know, I'm happy that I was denied, you know, I didn't have to continue to pay the loans, but, you know, they had billboards that went up along the streets on Canal Street, like over here. And it was my face on it. And, you know, these are things that my lawyer brought to the court in trial. It was like, this is the guy that y'all think who did it, you know? Like, you know, I actually was active in like, you know, being here in Soho and going to the BBC store, going to Fashion Night Out with my camera, my little T2i Canon, and shooting just any and everything because I wanted to be better. I wanted to, you know, prove to myself that I'm not like the person that, you know, the United States could make you out to be as a black man.
To be, right.
You know, so it was just like, it's something I really try really hard at, and it makes sense, and I'm happy that it worked out.
So this is like a deeper meaning than just creating. It's like, it's your purpose almost.
Yeah. Oh, it's definitely my purpose.
Yeah.
I think another to add to this purpose, I feel like I have to continue to archive the times and like how these different artists are connected and like, you know, how we are in this moment and in this time. You know, my work is always timeless. It's a time capsule. You know, anytime you look at my work, and I try to keep it that way because, you know, at the end of the day, like who's going to tell that we were here? You know, we all have individual stories at the end of the, we all have individual stories, but we are much stronger together, and you can see the interconnection through the stories.
That's so powerful. I think that is beautiful for a lot of reasons because I feel like you've just communicated the value of true storytelling and understanding the power that comes with it. And I think just understanding your story and how it's interconnected with your identity and who you are, where you've come from, like that has informed how you've moved in this space and like how you collaborate and how you build and how you, like you said, archive. So I think that's really, really powerful. And I think it's important for those who do want to explore a creative profession, like understanding what their role could look like and beyond just the technical elements of it, but more so the point of view that you provide to help contribute to the medium. So I think that's really, really powerful. And I think really inspiring for those who want to get into that space to understand what they can carry and bring with them to every project that they have. So, and that shows in your work. I mean, we've seen you create and work with a plethora of brands, and which we'll get into. But I love that insight that you shared. I think that's really, really important for the listeners too. Oh yeah, most definitely. You hit the nail on the head. I wish I could have said it better. No, you said it. You said it. I'm just processing it, you know? And so and I think that's really, really special.
You said that your work is like a time capsule, right? And it has to reflect the times. Do you feel a certain level of responsibility with the things that you decide to document and put into the universe? Because, you know, these things that we put out, this content and these ads and whatever we are working on, it lives on the internet forever. Like it survives us essentially.
100%.
Do you feel like there's an added responsibility there?
It's definitely an added responsibility knowing that you know, what you putting out in the world is out there forever. And that's why I think really deeply about what I'm creating. You know, like, I want to make sure the sound is right. I want to make sure the cut is right. I want to make sure the color is right to accurately reflect the story that I'm trying to tell. The story is just not in the narrative. It's not just in the people. It's in all the small details, you know. So, which is also important, like just as important in the storytelling factor, to show possibilities within the work. And that looks like what the relationship between a young Black man and a cop could look like, you know, showing that on camera in the way that we see it best is very helpful. And when you speak on this topic in particular, it's like, I want to be able to show that we can be better, you know?
Absolutely. Your resume speaks for itself. I mean, you've worked with Spotify, Converse, Nike, the list goes on. And there's such range and diversity with the things that you've done. But what's your approach look like when you decide to collaborate with a brand?
My approach looks like just life. Like, what does it look like for this product or this thing, you know, to exist in the space that I would inhabit? You know, like, it's always coming from a perspective that has its, you know, I would say a filter. And right away, I know what the product's gonna look like because of this filter that I created internally from my lens. You know, I'm looking at, you know, if this subject was in a place, where would it be? You know, like doing enough character backstory behind the product or a person that would allow me to like help that character make decisions rather than me.
You've been so generous and you shared so many examples of your work online. And it's clear that you have like a signature style. And I think every like filmmaker, director, visionary has their own style. When did you realize, like, what was that moment for you when you realized, like, this is my signature, like, aesthetic or approach? Like, did you have that kind of moment?
I think I had this moment probably like last year.
Really?
Yeah, because it's just like, and as a creative, you kind of keep going through phases. You know, it's important to always be looking at the work and like seeing what's in unison here. You know, like a big part of like being a director, I feel like we're influenced by like life. You know, like life is such a big influence. So like things happen and things change, and it just changes your perspective on things, and your work changes.
Right.
You know, so but I just realized that like the thing that I love most is like mixed media, right? Like, I like to shoot on VHS, I like to shoot film, and I like to shoot digital. And I think that they do something different in each, you know, on each medium. It does something different to, you know, the feeling that I want to inject into the visuals that I create. And then I'll realize how I'm treating it changes too, because it's like these three different types of cameras, you know, they don't look the same when you shoot them.
They don't, yeah, absolutely.
So when I'm going into like post-production and in color and, you know, sound, I'm like borrowing aesthetics between the VHS and borrowing, you know, sound aesthetics from how the film sounds when it's turning and it's like, you know, and then I'm also thinking about visually, like, how do I make it all in unison? So a big part of what you'll see in my work is that the blacks are very light. It's like airy in a sense, because I like to see the colors in between, you know, all the colors in between. So like I have like a little bit of like ash, I would say, to my work, and then the grain kind of fills it in. And that way I can make everything kind of look in unison, because the VHS is like contrasty. The film is like film. I mean, we love film, you know what it looks like. And then you have digital, which is like super sharp and clean.
Right.
You know, so I kind of like melt them together.
So you give like a lot of different dimensions. You're constantly shifting like textures, and it really just draws you in. For sure.
Yeah, it's definitely engaging, and it's definitely a factor, because this quick content that I've been creating, especially for social, but I'm really interested in what it's going to look like from my new film, Sugar Honey Iced Tea, because it's expanded now, right?
Okay.
And it's like, how do I open up this changing between these mediums into like a short film or feature film? You know, like what takes on more work than the other? You know, but yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
I just feel like you just took us through a journey through your brain and your process. These are things that we have been able to take away as we're like processing and viewing your work. But hearing you articulate this way, it just makes it feel so clear.
And like full circle.
And full circle. Like it feels very clear to me now.
Yeah.
Like, yes, I've seen that and that and that. So, wow.
Another
That's
thing
really
that we've noticed though, style-wise, is that no matter what you've directed, your talent is always styled to the T. Everyone in your work looks amazing.
Yeah.
And I wanted to know, how do you think fashion further pushes the creative direction of your work?
Oh man, fashion is such a big factor. I mean, because I dress the way I dress, you know, I'm able to communicate with people. Fashion has been like a way of me being able to just connect with people who I wouldn't normally talk to. And
It's like a conversation starter too.
exactly. It's always a conversation starter. And I'm open to the conversations always, please.
Talk to him.
But I think it's so important to, you know, also make sure that, you know, your subjects is always styled to the T too, because I wouldn't come outside looking crazy either.
Right.
So you better look great. You know?
You're a reflection of me. No, I'm kidding.
I mean, you're on my screen. You know?
That's so
You look
true.
good, I look good.
Right.
But I feel like it's also like a little kind of like a tagline, right? You can work with like a Nike, for example, and you know, you're obviously promoting that brand, but you promote them in your way. Something that complements the brand, but also feels like this is Anthony.
Yeah.
You know, this is like his vision.
I mean, you can see that, like, okay, for instance, Aja, right? My wife's brand. Shout out to Ashley Simone and Moya Nice at Aja. Like, they make these beautiful bags.
Yes.
Stunning.
Right?
Stunning.
You could wear it so many different ways. I keep this on me.
We love a supportive partner.
Yes,
show you
we
something.
love.
I love it.
We love a creative power couple.
Yeah.
Indeed. That is my other half at Equator. And yeah, we work really hard together because we have a passion for storytelling. But, you know, I keep my little camera in there.
Okay.
That's my little buddy, you know.
Okay.
Always like try to keep something on me. But with this, let me take a picture of you real quick. Boom. Cheese. Oh, dang, my internal memory is full.
Oh, too many
You see what I'm
photos. This
saying?
guy is always working.
He's always working, y'all.
We'll get
Always
some
working.
after the
I
show.
took a mental shot. That was a
Okay.
mental shot for me.
Yes.
Amen.
Yes.
But what were we getting to with this one again?
Well, we were talking about how, you know, you incorporate your own like fashion sense within everything that you work on.
Okay, that's what I was getting to. So with Aja, I was always able to, like, you know, think about the product, but also think about like how the world is equally this important to it. And like most recently we did a campaign where we were like in an airport and stuff like that. And like, you know, being able to make sure my subject looks good was super important, because then you look at the product and there was moments where there's like product shots and they're not wearing the product, and there's moments where the product is there. And I think it's super important to like always mirror that as well. And then again, like I said, the spaces that they're in, like there's only certain parts of the airport that we actually filmed. And like, you know, the parking lot where there's like, you know, these really hard shadows from the sun. And then, you know, inside the, you know, lobby of TWA, you know, it's like aesthetically pleasing, you know. So I'm thinking about like how everything is complementing each other. Like Wes Anderson.
Yes.
That's another one. Like it's so cool when you can see a frame and know exactly who directed it. And I feel like you have that.
You think so?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. You know, my work my work surprised me all the time. You know, like I have like a little bit of a method, but like it goes through the conveyor belt. And then when it's like on that other side of post-production, you're just like, I made that, huh?
Yeah.
This is a little bit more elevated. This is exactly where I want to. So like every single project, I'm like, okay, this is what I was talking about. But then the next project, like, well, that was cool, but this is what I was talking about, you know? So it's like a continuous like tweaking of like small things until you get there. But you know, you all see it differently.
Yeah.
But the heart of it is still there.
The heart of it is.
And I think you're always
going to continue to evolve. I think you can look at, like Ariam said, like any director's work, whether it's Spike Lee, whether it's Quentin Tarantino, you can tell, even if it's a piece of work that they've created at the beginning of their career, there's some sort of through line that comes through. And that definitely exists in your work.
Thank you.
But speaking of movies,
ooh,
we need to talk about the work that you've put in that industry as well. We loved the Challengers movie.
Obsessed
about it.
So good.
And you captured behind the scenes content of the making of this blockbuster movie. So we wanted to know, what was it like thinking back on your time on set?
Wow. I mean, working alongside Luca Guadagnino was such an amazing experience. And I really got to give thanks to Zendaya for like always seeing my vision and knowing that like I was like the perfect person to build on this, because Luca's like one of my favorite directors. You know, I don't know if y'all saw Suspiria.
Yes, we did.
Suspiria go hard. See, that's the fashion in film. Like, you know, that's the top tier, because it feels, you know, and they shot it all on 35 millimeter film. We can go down that rabbit hole about Suspiria, but we're talking about Challengers. They also shot it on 35 millimeter film as well. Seeing them shoot with 2 cameras, you know, consistently on 2 dollies, was just eye-opening. And it's like, I need to shoot with 2 cameras. I need 2 angles at all time, and I need to be moving. I got to move fast. Like, Luca doesn't waste time on things that doesn't need time. And like, you know, sometimes you want to like make sure as a director, like, did I get the shot? Do I need another take just in case? And like, I don't think he ever, I don't think, you know, I could have ever have done that until I've seen him work in real time. And obviously working with some of the best actors, like, you know, Josh O'Connor and Mike Feist, who were also amazing. And brought so much to the realm. It was just like, you know, amazing to see like we should all fit into this puzzle piece, you know, of production before, you know, you go on this journey. And everybody everybody that was part of the production was helping to take it up a notch, you know, like everybody was on their job, and
like a well-oiled machine.
A very well-oiled machine. And this is something that that I see as well, but in the commercial world, you know, it's different in the film world. You kind of don't film things at the same time. You have more time. We know this too. Right. Commercials, like, you know, you might have a day or 2 to shoot. So this is happening over time. Very much run and gun. So yeah, that was some of the things that I could take away from, you know, working on set with Luca, is just like timing, pace, you know, choosing the right team members to see it through, and just like know that you're gonna be a family for some time, and like the people that you with, I mean, you gotta want to love them, you know, even if it's like, I would say, you know, you don't have to like truly love somebody, but just know that like y'all are trying to get to the same goal with each other. Full circle moments where we was talking about like, you know, as family, you know, what it looks like for y'all to continue working with each other and wanting to just grow.
Yeah.
And that's how I was on set. Everybody was just really open and inspired and just working towards a major goal.
I mean, it paid off because it was a great film. I mean, we were on the edge of our seat.
And I watched it about 5 times too.
And the music? Oh my God, y'all were stressing me out.
I know. It was like the momentum, the pacing of the film, like everything just really, truly came to life.
Yeah.
Like it was just a really great film.
But in addition to the film, we really wanted to ask you about the Challengers magazine, this extension of the movie, right? It's this editorial, and it's featuring, well, you shot it, number one, which gorgeous.
Thank you.
Stunning.
Thank you.
And then on top of that, you have the Zendaya, but she's playing the character of Tashi Duncan. And I've never really seen that type of extension before. And I wanted, you know, for you to tell us a little bit about that concept.
So the concept is something that we worked on with Law Roach. La Roach's mother.
Yes.
And what
Everything.
mother says goes.
Yes.
Quote that.
You know? And yeah, she was just like, let's do this. I want to do this magazine. It'll be dope. This is the ideas I have, and we're just like effortlessly tweaking at it. We ended up shooting over a few different cities. We shop in Rome, London, New York. We shot in Paris as well, and in Sydney. And it was just like a constant like tweaking of like what would Tashi be doing, and like if you watch the movie, you know that Tashi was always in a hotel.
Yep.
And her daughter loves this hotels that they at. It's like, okay, we're shooting at hotels around in every city, and this is in the middle of like the press tour. So
Wow.
Z and the other guys were just in so many back-to-back interviews and conversations and like photo shoots and videos. So it's kind of wild that we were able to pull it off.
Yeah.
But I feel like it was so important because it's like we get to still play off of like what it would be for this character to continue to go on. And I feel like that's something that's like a motif within our work at Equator as well. We want to see things in ways from a different perspective that feels personable, relatable, and like to continue to do that backstory on all the characters that we do work with. I also got to give Ashley her credit as well as creative director on this project, because like
again, another example of a beautiful creative partnership.
Right
Love
there.
to see it.
So like she worked on the layout and like really we really thought about it to a T. So I mean ultimately we had fun with it, and I'm glad we were able to make it happen.
And the work is beautiful, like gorgeous.
Yes, more. We want more of this.
Yes.
We want more of this.
We'll give you more.
We need more
have
posts.
lots more.
There's only been 3.
Oh, y'all need another post? Y'all want another post?
Yes.
I didn't really
I was
think.
speaking for the people.
Okay.
Yeah, not just the soul. We need for the people.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's
people.
honestly such a cool concept.
All right. Well, people on the behalf, I'm gonna do a voting poll. If y'all want some more challengers,
Yes.
like behind the scenes, well, not I got some BTS stuff that ain't go out yet as well.
Okay.
But
We
if
love
you want
that
some more
too.
challengers content,
Yes.
let me know, and then we'll try to figure something out. I got some
Yes.
stuff in the queue.
Y'all heard it here. Y'all heard it here.
You've been in this industry for so long. You've had a creative journey since you were a teenager, really.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to know if you could share some piece of advice you may have for someone that wants to become a film director, or maybe wants to become a photographer and do it professionally.
The advice that I would have for somebody who wants to pursue a career as a director or filmmaker, I would say first find it deep in your heart that it's something that you love, like and maybe have that conversation with yourself is like, what part of this craft do I really want to hammer out? And it's okay to not know, but be willing to go on that journey and learn and and meet new people and ask for advice. It starts with one brick at a time. So at least watch a video, at least read, and talk to people. I think it's a way I'm able to communicate and talk with people as well, just like fashion. Like, you utilize this moment for you to connect with other people and understand why you love something before you actually like continue to hammer out and figure out how you can make money from it.
That's true.
That is so true. That's what it all comes down to. It's the why, right?
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
More stuff.
So one last question.
Sure.
What does the future look like for Anthony?
Ooh, that's a loaded question. What does the future look like for me? I mean, it's films. Like I'm working on a feature film right now. I'm working on one of my short films right now, and yeah, there's a lot of movies that happen in the process. I mean, hopefully I get to build with Luca Guadagnino again.
Yes.
But
Speak it up.
Pick it up. We want more. We need more.
The mic is on. The mic is on.
Outside of that, it's going to be my personal work. And you'll see more of me. And I don't know what's happening, but I'm starting to feel like Mars from Do the Right Thing, where I'm like on the other side of the camera. So I think there might be more of that too.
Okay. Well, we'll stay tuned. Like, there's so much amazing stuff that's coming down the pipeline, and we'll be staying tuned.
Yes.
I'll stay tuned on this show because I know the next person that come on gonna be fired too. Elevator. So
yes.
Let's speak it out. Let's speak it out.
Stay tuned on deuxsol Radio as well. Anthony, thank you so much for joining us and telling us a little bit about who you are. We got to see and learn so much just based off of this chat. We appreciate you coming.
Thank you.
If you want folks, our listeners, to keep up with you, you can drop your your socials, all of that.
Make sure you stay tuned to Equator Productions Instagram. Make sure you stay tuned to Anthony Prince Leslie on Instagram. I got a TikTok going, but we're going to work on that. Everything else, hit me on Instagram. Feel free to ask me questions if there's ever anything, and maybe I can maybe I might be able to help you. I'm not sure, but I'm always open to, speaking to other people about the craft. So yeah.
Amazing. If you like what you heard, you can keep up with our socials at DEUXSOL. That's at deuxsol. You can watch us on YouTube, and you can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music. If you can hear it, we'll be on it. And till next time, guys, peace.